Okay, another day of investigating things that don't work. First, I have to pee. All right, so I've had a long-standing history of issues with trying to play DMZ on Modern Warfare 2, and it the only thing I've been able to do is get it to barely work on my Omen, but even that's problematic because I can't really be competitive on that machine. Um, and it's honestly, I don't think it's ever worked on the Alienware, which makes no sense to me. It just refuses to boot. Um, and this is a more current computer, and of course the ones I hate to continue reiterating this, but the FCPD SWAT team stole my computer for like 9 months, and God knows how they handled it. I was handling it very carefully, so I don't even know. But at this point, does it even matter? Because what's the likelihood it's actually gonna even load? You know what I mean? But let's see. Let's see what happens. It's probably going to be a lot of, oh, update requires reboot and stuff like that or whatever. But maybe not. Who knows? Yep, there we go. First thing it is. I can already feel it. I can already feel someone anticipating ruining my gaming experience and getting off of it. Getting off on it. They're just waiting for me to press the button to see the request to boot load up and hit the nope button. That's what it feels like. And then they're gonna laugh at me and go, tee hee hee, and then maybe start masturbating. I don't know, but that's what it feels like. I want to point out I've never cheated in Call of Duty ever. Literally 0 times ever. See, it just does that. It just fails to boot properly. And I don't think there's any way to get support for that. I think they're just going, it's not my problem, bruh bruh. It's not my problem, bruh bruh. I'm wondering, do people think that having any programs other than Call of Duty on your machine is counts as cheating? Is that what this is? And yet you feel comfortable using aimbots and see-through, see-through modifications like X-ray modifications. You think that's not cheating, but you think having normal other computer apps, even like music apps, like audio engineering apps, you think that is cheating, even though they don't affect the gameplay directly. I haven't even been using them to make music recently, so I don't see how you can reasonably think that that's cheating. Oh, you think because I actually work hard, that's cheating? Hard work is cheating, but automating your results isn't? I'll wait till the shaders preload this time so that we can't say that that's the problem. But, I'd like to psychically hear from you. What do you think is causing this to not be able to boot? Is it people saying, "Oh, you need to learn your place," or is there actually an unintentional bug in the software? But I just want to point out that's how good I actually am at this game. That they go this far to try to keep me from playing it. That's how motherfucking good I am at this game. Here's another example. I just spent the morning installing that Modern Warfare 2 game on my Xbox again. I bought the disc. I think their excuse for doing this is they call me a simp and say I spent my money just to be humiliated and tortured because I like that and that's what I wanted. Completely ignoring the fact that they're the ones who wrote that script and they took advantage of my good nature of following along with them because I expected them to actually love me like they said they did and they didn't. And that's what the entire court system is based on, is saying that you love someone and that and meaning it and being honest with them. And yet the court system's what's been used against me. Not only that, but everyone has made this extremely personal and has completely reversed the actual natural order of things, whereas people who try hard and develop skills are the ones who are punished, and the people who just succumb to laziness are the ones who win. Why? See, instead of running this game here, we'll stream it to you from a computer named Omen. Why? I just spent the day downloading everything to this game. I mean, to this computer. Why do you have to do that? You can find extra performance options in the remote play settings. So, I don't know. Can I turn the graphics down on the Omen and turn them up on the Alienware? Why can't Oh my God. What what kind of scaling is that? That's not the correct scaling. Oh, I get it. Because they say this computer belongs to PJ or something. That it doesn't even belong to me, even though my dad's the one who paid for the hardware and all the software. And he's just waiting for me to make music so he can steal it and make money. Because that's how this works, right? That's how this works, FCPD? Or illegal army operatives. Remote play settings. Let's go find the remote play settings as the shaders optimize or whatever. Advanced host options to improve performance streaming gamer. Try reducing your game's resolution or adjusting these settings. Play on. I don't know. I guess we'll adjust that stuff as we go along. think whoever's responsible for this is just trying to shame me into being shut down. The reason I'm switching to the regular skin with no weapons equipped is so they can't get mad at me. Wait, hold on. I need to take my missions off so they can't try to claim that that's a legitimate reason to harass me either. Everything's basic, okay? Literally everything is basic. And in all likelihood, they're still going to target me specifically and bully me because that's what they do every single motherfucking time. And then they just laugh about it and get off on it. I'll be right back. It seems like the whole reason for the SWAT operation against me, why is it still not found a match, by the way, was to get my computer away from me. I'm sure they also didn't want me making my own medicine and actually being a positive influence in society because they're capitalizing off of harming people with drugs and stuff instead of using medicines as they're supposed to be used. In addition, they probably didn't want me getting famous. That's probably, if you wanted to set it to one real reason, it's probably because I was gonna get famous, which I should have, in the right ways, and they just didn't want that because they think they have a monopoly on the entertainment industry. And they think they should determine how I live my life because they consider my work theirs, even though they have no reasonable authority over me or my work. And they wouldn't even call it work because all they do is discredit me. They would call it crime and then they would use it to profit and say now that we're using it, it's law enforcement. And what do you think these poor game developers are going through? Probably the same thing. I don't know if that's the case. They might not be, but that would be my guess. Intent and impact. Something's wrong with my something's wrong with my ADS, I guess, or my sensitivity. We need to not be in this area. At least this mouse has a properly working fucking um middle click button. You know what? Also, whatever happened to doing the mission? God damn it. It's F, not E. Damn it. I destroyed the vehicle. See, that's the type of dumbass bullshit I'm going through. What was E? What game was E? I don't even remember. Was it Battlefield was E? See, I just tried to do it again. That's really pissing me off. which is probably what they want. But whatever happened to just doing the missions and not fucking operator hunting? Not operator hunting. That's what Warzone is for. DMZ is for just playing and doing the missions. And why do they have to make it operator kills even active? In Modern Warfare 3 Zombies, there were no operator kills active and it was a lot more fun and sustainable. That's why DMZ fell to shit, is because everybody just started doing operator kills instead of fucking um actually doing the missions and shit. It's way more fun without being able to squad kill each other. Or without any incentive to, at least. But this game offers an incentive. And if it's a demilitarized zone, why is there an incentive? Why are you able to squad kill other operators? It's demilitarized. Does not mean it's a free-for-all. It means that you're supposed to be considered civilians, and that those are supposed to be people ruling by tyranny. I almost did it again. I almost threw a frag again, except I don't have any frags, and I probably shouldn't acquire any until I can remember which button is which and pay attention. Oh, Leroy Jenkins is in the chat. Where's our other squad mate? He's all the way over there. How did they get dropped? Was it just AI? I still don't even have a weapon. It's probably AI since they're not dead yet. Maybe they fell. He's got a GoPro on his head. Or something. I still have to test out my GoPro batteries that I got from AliExpress. Same place I got my GoPro from, which worked great until I used it over a steaming pot. And it shorted something out. I don't know if it was the GoPro or the batteries. Or the battery, I mean. So I'm gonna find out. Hopefully soon. Why am I getting that lag? I was just thinking about the relationship between the computers and the processing split, and then it started lagging like that. It's like quantumly entangled or whatever. Broken window policing or something. Saying I'm committing crime and shit. You guys don't even know what crime is. You literally don't even comprehend the meaning of it. You just use the word because you heard it's an excuse to get laid. Accusing someone else of crime and then bullying them or fucking killing them is an excuse to get laid. That's what you think crime is. A reason to hurt someone else so that you can have undeserved sex, which is really rape because you lied your way into it. And this is why this sort of thing, I think, it's not always about my gameplay. This sort of thing is why they disable my audio stuff. Why they try to get me to stop playing these games. Because this is how I behave. It's not wrong, it's the right way to behave. And that's why they try to stop me. And to reiterate, I was never cheating in this game or any other Call of Duty game. If you really want to go into the details of my cheating history, it's limited to when I was a kid, and it's like using GTA hacks on the PSP, using N64 codes, like in battle tanks, um, and I bought it in RuneScape for like a month, and I don't even have access to that account anymore. I don't think. Let me think. I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe I might have I might have an account where I have a higher wood cutting level or something. Gonna be honest about that. I don't know though. I genuinely don't know. And that's it. That's the extent of my cheating history. Some would argue that's not even cheating, and that the cheat codes that I used were there for a reason, and that I also played the storyline without any codes and proved myself. And RuneScape was like, yeah, I'd love to play this game all day, but I have to go to school. And then I stopped doing it because it wasn't as rewarding as I thought it was going to be. That's the thing is that games like this are not ultimately rewarding when you cheat at them. If you actually care about things that matter, you're actually trying your best and stuff, and you get rewarded from the way you're supposed to, you don't want to cheat in these games because it ruins the whole fun. The whole point of it is proving to yourself that you have a high skill level in something and that you're able to learn and develop and do something right and change and grow over time. That's the whole point of these games. It's just like cheating on your homework. If you cheat on your homework, god damn it, I didn't mean to throw that second one. If you cheat on your homework just to quote unquote get by or whatever, it defeats the purpose of the content of the homework. And when the homework is actually good, when it's bad homework designed just to make you upset, I can understand your frustration. But when the homework is actually good and you're just not doing it because you don't feel like it, because you're selfish and lazy, and you think you're better than everyone for no reason, well, then you've completely missed the point of life itself. Oh, you thought I was getting rich and you thought you're going to steal my stash? Incorrect. The riches I had and have are not monetary in the sense of not using your monetary system, but money is a representation of value, and currency is a representation of not only what is currently relevant, but also the flow of power and electricity for things to be able to be done. And you assumed I was using the same monetary system that you have corrupted and monopolized, when actually what I was referring to is the real value that I was producing. It wasn't in USD, even though you may have turned it into that and stolen it. It was in US me. Let me ask you a question. How many millions of dollars are spent on the highest level of military training? Okay, now let me ask you another question. What was I accomplishing without using that explicit system, but while still using the baseline system, which was set up to do exactly what I was doing and not what the people who considered me their competition were doing? Claro? Capiches? How about some quiches? How about they stole my company? I don't know, did they? Well, then what's the point? what was the point of life? I mean, I guess Jesus gave away everything, right? And he said to do that in return for eternal life. But what's the point of eternal life if God isn't in charge of DevOps and if God isn't working to secure an eternal life worth living for? What good is eternal life if he hands, see, here we go. What good is eternal life if he hands over DevOps to Satan? There we go. I'm not even doing anything at this point. It's just glitching out because I said that. See, it stopped when I acknowledged it. It just turned into Counter-Strike. Yeah, a cheater just fucked up the lobby. That's what they just said. And then it shut down. At least they acknowledged it. At least we got group confirmation that that's what's happening. Let Omen Gaming Hub access my camera? I guess so, but that's kind of sudden. Whoa, how am I? Oh, I'm actually streaming the entire desktop. That's interesting. All right, well, it's lagging also still. I think connection issue. Um, well, there's no guarantee that I'll be. See, another thing that I think they target me for is the weapons that I build. Traditionally, first of all, I don't think this was happening necessarily at first. There may have been some sort of protocol at place, but by the end of the last time that I was playing this game, every time I would make a custom weapon, they would set literally everything aside and make it inevitable that they would just target me until they would kill me and steal my weapon. Now, who is they? That's a good question. Last time they did it, I asked, who made you do this? And they said literally God sent them to do it. And I feel like a benevolent God would not do that. I feel like they must have been referring to Satan, which means they're the sons of Satan, which means they're doing it because Emma Samuels betrayed me. She raped me and betrayed me. I think her argument would be that she didn't even cheat on me because she was already sleeping with someone else. And that I'm not the one who got cheated on. I'm the one who that she cheated on someone with despite lying about. She lied. That's all there is to it. She's a pathological liar. Not to mention all the other bullshit that they use against me. So, with that in mind, I'm going to try to build another weapon, but, what's the likelihood that any of it is going to actually mean anything? What's the point of building a weapon if every time I build a weapon, it just gets stolen from me? and then my gaming experience gets ruined. Like, that's not how this game is supposed to work, and that's why it was supposed to be exciting where people were evenly leveled and not cheating, and there were these custom weapons that you could get and collect and keep in your contraband inventory, and that contraband stash wasn't supposed to work against you. It was supposed to be fun. It was supposed to be exciting, and people ruined it. And I feel like I inadvertently, even though it's not my fault, I inadvertently played a role because I was making weapons that are so motherfucking bussin' that people were willing to ruin the entire game just to get them because they gave their bots an ultimate advantage or something. I don't even know how to explain it. But it's the same thing of like, it feels like every time I made a song, why would I not make, if professional musicians are making so much money off of their music when it's good, then how come I don't make any money? When I've made, without a doubt, the most independent music, good independent music of any person who's ever lived. And keep in mind, all of these genius composers in the past, Beethoven, Mozart, yes, they are in the top tier. However, the electronic recorded music process has components to it which did not exist in their time. I want you to know how much money I have. I have $0 to my name. I literally own zero currencies. Any currency in my any currency I have access to is my parents. So with that in mind, I don't know if that makes you want to torture me more or less, but I'm moving on. I like the Bruin Warrior grip, but I feel like the Pineapple grip is more sturdy. But also, I feel like it doesn't flex as much. I don't know. Pineapple or Bruin? Maybe I'll pick another one. Let's see if there's any other worthy options. What about the Merc one? No, no, no. And stop trying to take control over my mouse, please. No, no. Oh, by the way, all that the recent stupid Microsoft support, which wasn't actually support proved, is that people have been fucking with my mouse. Because when I went to chat on a certain thing, they literally were trying to steal my mouse. They're literally fighting me for my own mouse when I'm trying to say something in chat just because they're trying to take control over my system and bully me. And I'm trying to fucking say something and they're not giving me my mouse. They're just being assholes. It just proves that that's what's been going on. So what the fuck is the point? Well, it looks like it's either pineapple or brewery or brewer. Let's try this one first. Let's see how that feels. Bruin Warrior Grip. That's the other one. I think I might need to choose the other one. Yeah, it's the other one, I think. As much as I love a good pineapple. And what are the chances that all of my Steam account stuff has been isolated and I'm on some sort of like localized peer network because the quote unquote police have stolen literally everything from me and are just trying to keep me in some sort of weird AI containment. What's life worth at that point? Not shit, my friend. All of this because women get horny and they think it's okay to rape me because of my circumcision. That's all it is. That's all it ever will be. And they probably called me boring and said that's why they shut me down. We're going with a blue beam because I heard someone say something about it. See, do you see how that keeps skipping like that? It keeps seeming like it's because my hand is near the mouse pad, but I'm not so sure that that's what it actually is. It might be that, but it also might just be correlated, not caused. I do like the 1MW box. It's kind of classic, but it might be the same deal as the pineapple thing, where it seems cool, but it's just not the best option. Yeah, it feels like it's sliding. It means it's probably the doctor box. Yep, that's much better. Okay, here are my thoughts on this. I really like this silencer, but I think it's better for sniper rifles, and I think this is better. Also, when you bump this one on stuff, it doesn't like break and shit. Although I like the other one better. Let's test it and see if this is okay. Why is it lagging so much when I'm just in the firing range? I'm literally just in the firing range. That's not going to work. You see how it's consistently shooting to the right? That's insane. Let's go back to this one. Yep, that's much better. I'll just deal with it. By the way, this is the sort of weapon, although this isn't the configuration, but this is the sort of weapon that was aimed at me in my own home by people who were supposed to be protecting me, but instead they scammed me and tried to kill me. I'll make their configuration next, as much as I can remember. That's the point I feel like where they just went, oh shit, now we have to shut them down again. I think I need a little more. Let me see. My mouse DPI, I feel like keeps changing on its own. No, I think I need the other grip. I like the D15 grip, but I think it needs to be this one. I would, I would be focusing more on building a sniper rifle, but I still don't trust the integrity of the gameplay enough to actually believe that using something as precise as a sniper rifle is a reliable tool in this game at this point. And I'm not throwing shade at the like original intent of actually integrity. I'm throwing shade at the people who decided that it's their game instead when it wasn't, and that they decided or whatever, that they decided they were going to be evil. Was there ever any actual integrity? I like to believe there was, but it's really hard to believe when, I see so many things that indicate the opposite. Anyway, I'll come back and tune this one later. And I'm just setting this one as M4. Wait, I'm calling it M4A1. I know that's a tank name, but my first initial is A. And I'll come back and customize that one in a little bit. And then I have to do my home. I have to study again soon. I'm taking a break. More spam phone calls. I have another test today for the fucking criminal justice course that I decided to take because the system booed me out of being able to take welding or whatever. I feel like collectively people have just decided I don't deserve to do the things that someone in my position would have otherwise had every right to do. Anyway, I clearly remember what kind of optic they had. It's not that one. There it is. This one. They had one of these. Or was it this one? It could have been any one of these ones. Actually, I think it was more that one. Yeah, I think it was this one. Um, I can't remember. I think they had lasers. They probably just had regular. Wait, no, that didn't look right. Maybe it was that. I didn't get to see what color their lasers were. I'm gonna guess green. No, it can't be that one. It's probably red. Is it red or blue? I'll just put a regular one on it. I think their boxes were black though. I can't remember. That kind of looks like it. Let's just put one of those on there. The reason I don't think it was a flashlight is because I think the drones that they used had flashlights on them. Um, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't see the rest of their setup very clearly. I remember seeing this, and I remember seeing laser attachments. But I'm going to guess that they had other things. I'm gonna guess that they probably had hollow tips. Let's just put a grip on there just to be spicy. And then if they had under grips, they're the types of people who would have used these slanted grips. They would have used like that or something, in my opinion. I don't think they had any muzzle attachments. I don't think they had any barrel modifications. I can't remember if they had stock modifications. What if instead of this they had a stock modification? What if they had a demo tube instead? I don't think they did though. I think they're more likely to have a grip modification. Doesn't really matter. The point is that they definitely had these and they definitely had these, and I'm entirely 100% positive that they're not supposed to be doing that. I know that because yesterday I went to their station essentially, and it says U.S. Army National Guard. It doesn't say police on it. It says police out front, state police out front, and then on the building it says U.S. Army National Guard. And they had FCPD patches on their shoulders. They're full of shit, and they're all being I mean, ever since Trump got elected again, the entire country has been compromised. So it's like they're disregarding the separation between federal and state government. But I don't know if there's any people left to enforce that in the way of like making arrests, like physical arrests, going and actually dealing with it. And my perspective on the law enforcement situation is so far anyway that it's gotten so far skewed in the first place. Jails and prisons aren't supposed to be torturing people the way they are. You're not supposed to just keep taking people into custody and holding them for inordinate amounts of time. The country is supposed to be much more free, and if you really don't fucking like it and you have a really 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 good reason and it's not just you pleasing yourself, if there's a reason that's bigger than you and you're serving and you're not, you have to understand every time I say something, these people just go and then use it. They either use an AI script to write away for it to make serve their purposes and discredit mine, or they come up sometimes they come up with it themselves by, wanking, I guess. One of the drawbacks of, I won't say it right now. Anyway, that's how it feels. They just straight up took it out of the game. You know what I mean? Like, they got so mad that I was actually playing the game right and doing well that they decided to try to kill me in real life. That's what it feels like. And I don't even have any I don't have any weapons at my home. If they try to use the weapons that I refer to in in my music, it's the ones they were using type type shit. 'Cause like where did they get them from? I don't think they're supposed to personally own those weapons. You know what I mean? And there's supposed to be an armory, a federal armory, voila, either in the Pentagon or the White House or both or whatever. You know what I mean? Maybe not those places exactly, but also maybe those places exactly. And I was referring to the fact that I come from an army family, like my great grandfather and my grandfather served in the world wars, and even my dad even did some medical contracting with the army or whatever, I think. I think that's what it was or whatever, you know? And like I grew up, you know, learning how things are supposed to be, but I never used my powers for evil, and I don't take them outside of the confines of my inevitable service, if there ever is any. And that doesn't always have to look like you think it does. Just like me sitting here, being able to consciously acknowledge what I'm doing and remember it, it doesn't have to be like that. That also introduces errors. That's what the MK Ultra program is actually all about, is programming humans specifically to be killing machines and then dusting their motherfucking conscience and consciousness so that they can't make any mistakes. But what it's not about is torturing those people. It's not about torturing anyone. That's not what it's supposed to be out. That's not what it's supposed to be about. It's not what it's supposed to be about. And once again, the same thing always happens is that this script runs to argue with me about that. Just for selfish people, because that's how they steal money from other people. They say they're making money, but they're not making money. They're not providing any value. They're just destroying value and taking what they want from people. That's all they're doing. That's why the world's falling apart. And they don't care because they think they can just live a life of luxury at other people's expense until everything falls apart, and then they don't have to deal with it either because it's not their fault because they're going to die in comfort. That's all they think. Anyway, all this shit is lame and lazy. And just to prove to all you people that I'm actually as respectful as I say I am, I'm gonna tune this one first, even though this isn't the one I want to use. That's right, I was being respectful not because I was simping, but because I respect everything. I respect everything on this planet because it's all God's sacred creation. Not because I wanted to suck PJ's penis, it's quite the opposite. And I don't mean I want him to suck mine, I mean I want him to go away and leave me alone forever because he's not being helpful, he's being a fucking asshole. You know, and I showed respect. I showed the utmost respect and love. And I still feel like that was so inappropriate that I want the entire regime to disband. And I never want to see these people again, and I don't even want to hear of them, ever. I'm not being mean. That's just what it is. If I was being mean, I'd start going in on some personal judgment shit again, which is apparently what PJ stands for. See? That's being mean. Even though it is true. And it's honestly pretty finessed. What are you drinking if it's not alcohol? Coffee. I like coffee. Caffeine is a very clean stimulant, and as long as you don't overdo it, it's pretty sustainable. Oh, that made you lag out? I know right now it might seem like I actually made it worse, but what you have to understand is what I actually did was I made it realistic. That's why it's not like super easy to aim, but if you take it slow and go in bursts, then it's actually extremely precise. And the way bullets travel is actually quite strange. So there's that. And the other thing is every time I make an adjustment and I improve these things, the price on it goes up, and that doesn't mean something I'm not going to get anything out of it. What happens is, and I would like this to stop, is that the bounty on the weapon goes up. It feels like it's built into the game at this point. I don't think it's supposed to be, but it feels like other people are playing a different version of the game that I'm playing where they actually get like I'm part of the game somehow and like they're actually getting bounties listed on the weapon that I build, and that's how much they get for stealing it from me. And it doesn't matter if they cheat, they actually get rewarded for cheating. Oops, did I not tune that? Didn't tune the laser? I thought I did. Did I set it back to 0 by accident? That's crazy. There we go. And what's the likelihood that some woman was rubbing PJ's dick and telling him lies about how the institution worked, and that's why he crashed out on me? And what if it was Emma Samuels? What if it was Sonia? What if it was Sonia? There we go. What if it was Sonia sucking his dick like this? Wait. And they're like, he's complaining about his circumcision. Let me flip my switch so he can hear it, so he knows I'm threatening him before I use someone that he thought he could trust and love against him yet again. And then they say, it's called going evil, and if you don't like it, get a real job. Oh wait, you can't because we run the whole industry. See, and I'm tempted to not even put a camo on it. I'm already aware that you're listening to me and trying to use everything against me. I'm already aware. You try to use everything I say to make my experience worse, because that's how circumcision works. Anything I create or grow that is an extension of my experience, which makes my life worth living, you just reap from me, because that's how circumcision works, right? Penis justice, penis juice. I like my Battle Buddy AI, but I'm doing this one. What color is the beam again? Blue? There, see? I just got a perfect score, 30 out of 30. Even if they didn't all hit, which I think they did, I took down every dummy with exactly the number of bullets that I had. And so I did everything on my own just now with the program provided to me, completely within the confines of what is programmedly allowed in the game. And therefore I should reap the benefits of this particular weapon. I'm not saying that if someone fair and square beats me that they shouldn't also enjoy it, but it's an insured weapon, so I should get to enjoy it again after that without the feeling of disgust because someone cheated to take it from me. Or even stooped low, even if you didn't actually cheat and you just stooped low and played dishonorably. Which I guess people think is up for debate, but it's really not. Oh, yes, it is. Blah, 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 blah. Gets shot in the forehead and dies, bitch. And it's stuff like that that I say that people get so upset about. But if you really think about the context, I don't own any firearms. So why would I be saying that? Just because I'm acknowledging how it is. No matter how hard you try to stop me from doing it, for me to stop speaking out of it, it's still going to be like that, even if you disagree. And so all I'm doing is giving people a chance to say, wow, that's really how I'm behaving. Maybe I shouldn't do that anymore if I don't like it. Not, oh, well, I don't care that you say that. And I'm gonna put you in your place. I'm already in my place. That is my place. You just keep taking me out of my place, and it doesn't help anyone. It doesn't even help you. It doesn't help you at all. You might think it does, but it doesn't. And the difference between the way that I'm disagreeing with you and the way you're disagreeing with me is called objective fact and standpoint. And the thing is that you can try to use objective fact and standpoint to twist things all you want, but they are the way they are for a reason, and then there is an inviolatable pattern which takes those objective facts and standpoints and algorithmically over time causes them to have a certain outcome. That's just the programming of nature. That's the programming of the universe. And while some wild and crazy things can happen in it, everything follows the same pattern overall. And that is what we call a higher power. That is what we call God. That's why I like this game, because it's COD. It's so close to God. Get it? The gun, with the gun, it makes it God. COD with the gun makes it God. But it's just a game. I'm not actually going out and hurting people. It's just a game because it's about skill. That's what it's about. Actual skill. So when you ruin that, you ruin everything, and that's what you're trying to do because you're bad. You're bad at the game, and you can't just accept that while you could have taken a step back and realized, hey, instead of ruining it for everybody else, how about I cheer them on and enjoy it in a different way than they are because I'm not them. Because God made me this way to enjoy it this way, but instead I'm disobeying that and I'm enjoying it in a selfish way, in a way that harms people and makes them feel bad about themselves when they shouldn't. Because it's not as simple as someone gets shot and that's bad. Sometimes it's good, but it takes a very, very, very specific set of circumstances for that to be a good thing. Very specific set of circumstances. And it's not up to you. It's not up to me. It's up to God. When I say it's not up to you, I'm not speaking directly to God only. I'm saying that's his whole job is is controlling life and death. And he may have put us on here with what seems free will, but the only reason for that is so that we can do his bidding. And then when we're not doing his bidding and we have off time, we're supposed to be doing things like hobbies, and those hobbies aren't supposed to include ruining everything else for everyone else. That's the thing that he told us not to do. Anyway, and you know what it says on our money, on our paper bills? In God we trust. Maybe that's why so many people are choosing to use electronic money instead. Because they don't want to trust in God, because it's hard, it's difficult, it hurts, or whatever. You know, I'm not making fun of people who are in legitimate pain because they've served. I'm actually just imitating people who are fucking dumb as fuck, excuse my language, and who can't grasp the idea of a hard day's work, a real hard day's work, not some piggy ass bullshit. No disrespect to actual pigs. Okay, so here we go again. Standard issue. Once again, all I'm doing is taking a standard issue weapon and modifying it within the confines and boundaries of what I'm allowed to do. You know what I mean? I'm not modifying the program. I'm using the program to modify the asset as allowed. This is a tough one because I've made this gun so many different ways before. I like the wood grain. I think I like the 10 round mag. I think the 12 is a little bulky. We could check that out again in a little bit. I like the trigger action. I don't know which one. I think I like... This one is the one I'm supposed to like, I think, but I like the way that looks. This is like the Omega trigger, though, for CZ. The double action one, I think. It's similar. It's not... I don't think it's... It might be exactly the same. I don't know. But anyway, so that's the one I'm supposed to like, I think, but I like the look of that one. But it looks wrong. I don't know. Let's just try this one for a minute. I think it's the wrong one, but see, look, it literally destroyed. Wait, procedure entry point. Report unrecorded scenario at scenario tracking at Yaksa AVI scenario at 1 at Z could not be located in the dynamic link library. Users alloc app data local Microsoft OneDrive 25.189.0928.0002 slash telemetry.dll. I think that means someone literally went into my files and deleted an important part of the physics engine just to fuck me off and say you don't know shit about the laws of physics. Oh, you think the laws of physics run this bitch? Fuck you and fuck your laws of physics. That shit doesn't matter at all, stupid ass motherfucking bitch. Now I'm gonna rape you again. That's how I picture this scenario occurring. So now let's see. I can't even exit. I'm surprised it didn't crash the whole game at that point. Or maybe it did and they got on it and fixed it. I mean, what does telemetry actually mean, right? Oh, the process of recording and transmitting the readings of an instrument. So in this case, they're saying that I think they didn't have any way of, or that they're, oh, maybe it was that, oh, maybe it's that first one actually has an improper physics reading and that it's broken or something. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it exactly, but moving on. One, two, three. And then I think just maybe, I don't know, maybe just a laser and an optic. I'm guessing Sonia said it's okay to cut off my dick. She may have even only said it once. And I also have said that about someone one time, although I think I may have been correct about it. But I immediately realized that even if I was correct, I maybe shouldn't have said it. I don't know. A lot of things happen where I kind of point out the truth and how horrible it is, but then I don't want that to be the truth. And then I don't, even if it's the truth, it's not necessarily the truth for me, but people are going to try to use it against me. So then I try to take it back, but I was already correct and they're going to use it against me anyway. They were already thinking it against me anyway. It's a very difficult lesson to learn. The other one, this is the only one that works. And then unfortunately, I don't have time today to play another round right now. And there's no guarantee this game will ever work for me again. But that's just how it is right now because I have to study for my exam. See, even then, I feel like someone is like shifting my controller. Or not my controller, what am I saying? See, every time I say something like that, I feel like people use that as an excuse to rape me. I said controller, I meant mouse. Okay, so what? You get to steal a kiss? You get to put me on drugs and steal a kiss just because I said the wrong control mechanism? Technically, my mouse and keyboard are still a controller because it's what I'm using to control the situation. And then you would say, well, you're not in control at all. I am because I'm your blah, blah, blah. I'm your slave master or whatever. I'm your rapist or whatever. This is the sort of thing I go through on a daily basis. I have constant rape hallucinations. I have constant hallucinations that someone is raping me, and I'm not actually entirely convinced that they're hallucinations. I actually think they might be from the past in times when I've been put on drugs against my will, such as PJ or Dua Lipa, etc., 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 etc. And while people have claimed that I'm just crazy, and that's why they put me in psychiatric institutions and way over medicated me, the fact of the matter is, a lot of the times I've been correct about stuff that's been going along. See how they do that? To me, that's not what I intended my mouth to say. That's not what I intended anything to happen. And it's just people saying, you need to learn your place, sweetheart. And then imagining me with a dick in my mouth. Now, show of hands. Who thinks I have zero reason to want to leave this earth? I'll leave my body behind, sure. But who in any capacity thinks that I'd have zero valid points about looking forward to the afterlife instead of being hyped about what's going on Earth? And if you think so, then tell me why. Because it's not over? Okay, well then fine. I'll play one round. Let me just tune up. That's not what you were saying? See, as soon as I said I was going to play one round, it starts malfunctioning. Oh, you're saying I don't have a valid reason to leave because it's not over, not because there's hope for me, but because there's hope for other people to continue torturing me and that they deserve to torturing me and that's their fun and that I have no right to take that away from them. I get it. That's all you're saying. You're not actually saying that I have any chance to survive or live or have a happy life. You're just saying that I don't deserve to take away the fun of people who torture me for fun. Proving my point.